This episode of Fertile Talks is sponsored by ilmeds.co, an international mail order pharmacy specializing in fertility medications. If you're looking to save significantly on your fertility treatments without compromising on quality, ilmeds.co is an excellent choice, offering up to 80% of retail prices. And as a special offer to our listeners, use the code FT24 at checkout to receive a $50 discount on your order. For your convenience, you can find a link to their website in the episode show notes. Thank you, and let's get started. Welcome to Fertile Talks, the global podcast celebrating the diversity of fertility journeys. I'm your host, Dr. Yemi Famuyiwa. Whether you're just starting or simply curious, this is your safe space. In each episode, we will bring you expert insights, heartfelt personal stories, and the latest in reproductive health. Our goal is to break down barriers, tackle stigma, and provide support and hope. So whether you're in the Americas, Africa, or Asia, Fertile Talks is your companion on the path to parenthood. Thank you for tuning in and welcome to Fertile Talks. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Famuyiwa, your host of Fertile Talks. Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to be talking about decoding your insurance and trying to achieve peace of mind. So I am doing this episode because if you live in the state of Maryland, and I think some other states, but in the state of Maryland, in the United States, the option to sign up for insurance just closed. It closed on the 15th of January. So if you want to get personal insurance, you're going to have to wait till the end of this year to sign up again. And that's another beef of mine. I wonder why they do that. I think people should be allowed to sign for insurance at least every quarter, if not every month. But that's something else. So what we want to talk about is how would you as a patient navigate the complexities of insurance, which can really feel like stepping into a maze, especially when you're dealing with the emotional and physical challenges of fertility treatment. So we're going to break down the key insurance terms in this episode, such as deductibles, coinsurance, prior authorizations, and hopefully offer some actionable tips that may help our patients. So the very first thing is insurance can be overwhelming for a lot of patients. And patients are asked to sign these detailed contracts that they don't know about. And if they've joined a company that offers a plan, there may also be some nuances in there that is involved. So what is your deductible? Your deductible is what you must pay out of pocket before the insurance coverage begins to help you out. So if you have a deductible of, say, $2,000, that means you have to meet that amount. It's like if you have your car insurance, most people will choose a $500 or $1,000 deductible. It means that if you have a car accident, your Geico or Allstate or whatever insurance you use will not pay anything at all until you've put out that amount. So that's pretty much how insurance also works. If your deductible is $8,000, you will have to pay that much before insurance will kick in. If it's $1,000, you have to pay that much as well. Now, what is a co-insurance? Just because you have a deductible and you've met it does not mean the insurance is still going to cover everything. If they say they'll cover 100%, then you're done. However, some plans have what is called an 80-20 plan. That means the insurance will only pay 80% of what they deem, mark you, that's what they deem as eligible cost. If they do not deem it as eligible, they will not cover it. So you need to learn that jargon. If you're employed, talk to your HR or basically call your own insurance. What is a prior authorization? We cannot begin any treatment if your insurance requires that a prior authorization be obtained, that really means that they have to give permission for you to go through treatment. And I find that most patients do not understand this. And they get very, very impatient. They call, I've started my menstrual cycle. I need to get seen. I need to get started right away. And I'm like, it's not us. We need to clarify, and we need to be on the on the same page with the insurance. Um, so, what are the challenges and sources of angst that I've seen? High out of pocket costs. So, many treatment plans may be partially or fully covered, but there may be a limit to what the insurance will provide, and then everything goes out of pocket. So you really want to understand your own policy. There may also be confusing terms like out of pocket maximum or allowed amounts that can lead to unexpected bill. Each one of this is really dependent on individual policies. The best way to get answers to this is to go to where you got your insurance from and have them explain this to you. And if you got it directly from the insurance plan, in that case, call them. They will tell you what this is, what those amounts are. Um, so I know that waiting for approval can sometimes cause emotional strain, and I know patients get really upset about this, but they come to us with that angst. I think you need to call your insurance and clarify. If the authorization is not obtained, the claims will simply be denied, and you'll end up having to bear the brunt of the full cost. So, what are some practical tips that patients can follow? I would say one of the practical tips you can use is review your policy, take notes on it, call them and find out what is covered, what is allowed, and gather as much information as possible. Now, some policies may actually cover the workup, the diagnosis, but not necessarily cover the treatment. Some may cover the treatment, but not necessarily cover the medication. So you need to find out. And then another thing I've noticed is your medication may actually be covered under a separate policy. So you need to know if your insurance splits off into a medical benefit as well as a pharmacy benefit. So that can be very important. And the only way you'll find that out is if you ask. Now, at Montgomery Fertility Center, we can help our patients, but the patient is really responsible for knowing exactly what they're covered for and what they're not covered for. And the best way to help you is to have all the next necessary documentation provided promptly. This avoids delays. Now, what do I mean by that? I have had a few patients whose policy ended at December 31st. They started a new policy and they assumed that because it was with the same insurance plan, that somehow we would automatically know this fact. We do not. We can't read your mind. If you terminated a policy and started a new one, the onus is on you to provide that information to the clinic so that we can try to submit the new policy for authorization so you have a few or less interruption in your treatment plan. So you need to work with us as your partner. Um, so I know it takes a toll, and we're here to help you, but it can be done if we work cooperatively. And I tell our patients, we're really here to help you. We're not here to make your life difficult. But a lot of times our hands are tied by what your insurance will allow and what they won't allow. So we also offer you all the paperwork that we turn into the insurance so that you can also advocate for yourself. I had a case of a patient that we felt needed to go to IVF because her ovarian reserve was rapidly running out, and they denied her policy on technicality. So I had the patient come in the office. She thought we were the one not processing it. She sat down, we gave her a phone. I said, okay, here's the deal. This is what we turned in. Why don't you call? And when she called, she quickly realized the roadblocks that the insurance was throwing up. She was able to advocate for herself and hold them responsible. And when she finished, the insurance company called us back and actually gave authorization right away. So, another thing that I want to touch on is a lot of our treatment patients who were in treatment going into the Christmas season and into the new year, if you have authorization automatically ends December 31st. They do not continue it. So what happens is we need to resubmit all that paperwork all over again to the insurance plan so that they can reissue the authorization for January 2025. They will not continue the old one. Now, what happens is I'm sure every clinic around the area is doing the same thing. In addition, we have patients, not our patients, but there are patients who need chemotherapy who are also needing authorization. So, what happens is insurance will prioritize sometimes because they only have limited staff and limited resources. They may prioritize cancer patients to get their chemotherapy as they should, right? That's also an emergency. It's life or death for those patients. So as a result, it takes a little while to get the authorizations for fertility rolling and getting started. So I usually ask for a lot of patience and a lot of cooperation with our patients. You can help. You can, we give you the paperwork, we submit, and you can also call and advocate for yourself. So again, knowledge is power, communication is power, and submitting all your information that you may have if your insurance terminated or you switched insurance, please, please, please don't keep it to yourself. We don't know. They don't tell us right away. You need to give us this information. So I hope this helps our patient going into the new year, navigating their fertility treatments. As always, we're here to help. You can send us any questions. Thank you very much. Thank you for tuning in to Fertile Talks. We hope today's episode has provided you with valuable insights and support for your fertility journey. Remember, you are not alone. Now, if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, please simply leave us a comment. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe with a friend. Your ratings, your shares, and your reviews are greatly appreciated and is going to help us serve more of our listening audience. Thank you once again. This is Dr. Famuyiwa.